This just goes to show that some people that seem to have it all really don't.
Who does she think she is, anyway?
Little Miss Perfect.
Don't worry about dinner, Daddy. We've still got one can of beans left in the fridge.
If it wasn't for Tony, oh.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another video, and this video is going to be an episode analysis of Hey Arnold. You know, I did so many Proud Family videos. I did an off-the video recently, and now it's time for Hey Arnold. Y'all knew this was coming. I knew this was coming. Hey Arnold was just one of those shows back in the day, and even now I can still watch some of the episodes and just get that sense of nostalgia and relatability. And it's one of those shows that you didn't feel like I was watching like a little kid show because it's animated on Nickelodeon. It felt mature enough for anybody to watch. Because you know what, a lot of kid shows, they tend to talk down on kids and be patronizing, like, this is good, this is bad, this is the message of this episode. You know, like a Sesame Street type of show. But in the realms of like the Proud Family and even after, Hey Arnold was like that perfect balance of being an animated show that can have like little crazy zany episodes, but also have those episodes that stick with you, that make you be like, And some of these episodes I see many times, I could watch them over and over again. And the episode I want to talk about today is called Miss Perfect, where we were introduced to Lila. But before we really get into an episode analysis, I really enjoyed this episode because it talks about many different elements, from like situational poverty, or you know, people being insecure and why that could be a reason they bully others or have envy towards others, and even the whole theme of like being peer pressured, or you know, like that one group leader that gets everybody to feel the same way. This episode hit on many different elements, and it just made for a nice watch. So the episode begins with everybody in class, and it's the same old thing. As Helga says, everything is mundane, boring.
Same old thing, day after day. When's something new gonna happen around here?
And this is where we get introduced to Lila. She comes in as a transfer student. Right away, you could tell Helga and some of the other girls are giving her kind of like dirty looks.
We have a new student joining our class. Her name is Lila.
Where the fuck you even come from, bitch? Who are you?
The next scene, you see them at recess playing, and of course, it's Lila's first day. She don't really know nobody. Nobody's really getting to know her, so she's sitting by herself. Everybody already have established friend groups.
Look at her sitting all by herself. She has no idea what to do.
And this is another thing, I don't know how it is. I don't know how it feels to be the new kid, where you gotta move into a new school where there's already established friend groups, and you gotta try to find the one you fit into. This is the situation with Lila, and she's sitting by herself. So then Helga, being a group leader, being a ringleader, like I talked about, she comes up with this, well, let's show her the ropes and all this other stuff. And she got Nadine and Rhonda and Phoebe and Sheena all with her. And they come over to her, acting like they run the school. And I'm like,
We run things around here. Me, Rhonda, Phoebe, and all the other girls.
Down like that, okay?
because they see her as, oh, she don't know what to do, she can't make friends, blah, blah, blah. But immediately after that, this girl comes over and asks her to play with them, and they like,
Hey, Lila, want to play kickball with us?
Sure.
And as the episode continues, as the days continue, you get to see that Lila becomes accustomed, she becomes friendly with people, and she's just a general likable person. In comparison to Helga, who's seen as a bully, she's nasty, she's mean, she's rude, and she has like this overbearing personality where she is the group leader of that group of friends, and it's like they follow whatever she does. And she's like, oh, we don't like her. Okay, we don't like her. Oh, let's prank her. Oh, let's prank her.
By the time we get through with her, she won't be Little Miss Perfect no more.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Do some of y'all relate to this? Because this could be seen as like a cliche thing that's seen in like movies, TV shows. But did y'all school, high school, middle school, did y'all have those type of friend groups that you observed that had like the ringleader? Where you could tell it was that one person in the group that was like the one that made the decisions, that was like, oh, we're doing this today, we're doing that today. And you had 3 or 4 other people following them like, all right, let's do this. All right, let's do that. Like they didn't have a mind of their own.
Rhonda?
Rubber lunch meat.
The old wax fruit trick.
If that one person didn't like somebody, the whole group of friends didn't like somebody. Y'all ever witnessed that? I did. But you know the funny thing is, it wasn't a group of girls, it was a group of guys. Where it's like that one guy that has that type of thing with him, where other guys want to be friends with him and, oh, like he's the cool one or whatever. And they pick certain people to target or to bully. And then you have the other friends that join in with it. It's just like, really?
Oh my God.
This is why sometimes people like Helga need a slap. Helga! Because it's like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing?
Why are you doing that?
Moving back to the episode, as you see, many different things happen with Lila to where that group of friends kind of feels shunned by her, or they feel like she's taking their spot.
Samuel Morris in 1840.
Very good, Lila.
I actually made it myself.
I can't believe it.
And now it's like she just has this natural attraction towards her. Everything she says is funny. Everything she does is right.
I think I'm in love. Don't worry.
That makes him so envious. That makes him so jealous, so upset. And they develop that type of mindset of, this new girl thinks she's gonna take over. So of course, Helga, being the ringleader of the group, decides to come up with a plan to prank Lila. But the first two don't really work.
It was a joke.
You're a dummy, bitch.
No, don't eat that.
Shut up.
As you can see, the first two pranks they tried to do backfired on them, and Patty, which is the big tough girl in the school, she ends up being the victim of the pranks, getting Helga beat up by her. The third time they try to prank her, it actually works. And look at this right here.
The lowest is what? 0.
We got her good.
You see how everybody was laughing at Lila and she was embarrassed? Nobody came to her, nobody offered her help. The same ones that were laughing at her jokes ended up laughing at her. So you see in that sense where it's like, you can't trust nobody. These same people that were laughing at her jokes, they thought she was so funny, they were being friends with her, they were so attracted to her. Somebody pranked her, all this nasty food and trash falls on her. They don't offer her help. They don't be like, Lila, oh my God, I'm so sorry, let's take you away. They all laugh at her. They make her feel even more humiliated than she already was. So that just goes to show you, sometimes you gotta watch who you keep as your friends.
Don't smell that cow.
So of course, because of that, Lila is embarrassed. She doesn't want to go back to school. And we see her at home with her father, talking to him about it. And you can sense that something is a little off, but it doesn't really show until later in the episode.
Substitute tastes almost like the real thing, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Back at the school, Helga volunteers to give Lila her missed homework, and she brings her followers along with her.
I'll do it, Mr. Simmons.
All right, Helga, that's very nice of you.
As they arrive to Lila's house, her brownstone, even Phoebe is like,
I assumed Miss Perfect would live in a more luxurious domicile.
because she was so perfect on the outside, because she was so pretty, because she was so funny and everything she did was right, they expected her to live in a nice house or live grand. Her personality was grand. It just happened to be that her lifestyle wasn't. And that just goes to show that theme of being envious of others for certain things like their looks or their clothes or their popularity. But it's like, at the end of the day, you don't know what they could be going through.
All I ever wanted to do is fit in and make friends.
Lila was a pretty and popular girl. In those first few days, she was introduced to them. But she never told them she was rich, like how Rhonda would gloat about. Lila just had this image where she knew her and her father wasn't in the best situation, situational poverty. And as we see, you could tell that the father was going through some things. They were eating out of a can. He didn't have a job at the moment. And that placed them in that poverty situation. But she still had a nice, shining personality. She still wore the best outfit she could. She still was likable. They really get this message when Helga and the other girls overhear Lila and her father talking about this from outside her window, where the father gets a call, realizes that he doesn't get the job, and they start crying to each other, and the father is so disappointed that he can't provide for his daughter, provide for himself. He ate the last can of food they had, and they're just crying.
I didn't get the job. Well,
Here there, Daddy.
They basically in poverty. He can't afford this, he can't afford that. They barely have that roof over their head. Just start hugging each other, comforting each other, because at the end of the day, that's all they had. Each other, Lila and her father. So Helga and the other girls watching this from outside the window, they really break down. They're like, damn, we treated her bad and this is how she really living? We was jealous of her and this is how she really living? And they felt bad for what they did. And Helga feels the worst because, like I said, she was the ringleader. And Phoebe had to slap her into place.
Helga!
After this, they finally go in, they talk to Lila, and Rhonda reveals what we already knew.
Our actions were most likely motivated by deep-seated insecurities.
Lila, being as nice as she is, accepts the apology and they move forward.
I forgive you.
Come on, girls. Group hug.
And at the end, we see that Lila is back to being likable and popular. All the guys are around her at the playground laughing at her jokes. But on a side note, I'm like, Lila, remember, these are the same ones that was laughing at you when that trash fell on you. So be careful with that. And Helga and the other girls are observing and they're like, back to this again. And Helga's like, oh, you know what? But I like her now.
Little Miss Perfect again.
I like her.
Yeah, me too.
The episode is now over. And to wrap everything up, like I said throughout this review, this is just one of those episodes that always stuck with me. And it made me think about it in a broad scheme of things, where even other people that you could have been envious or like a little, why does person get this much attention and why I don't? Or a lot of people like to say they're not envious or they don't think certain ways, but they do. You know, certain people like, oh, how they get the best grades and I can't, how they got those shoes, or how they got that new coat, or how they got that new phone and I don't. You just gotta appreciate what you have. And I feel like another message with this episode is you can have the materialistic things, you can be popular, you can be pretty, but the best thing about you that you can control, the best thing about you that you can have can be your personality, can be how you treat other people. Which is why Lila was so likable in the first place, that Helga and the other girls didn't even understand until they saw her behind closed doors. And I want to relate this into like the media. You know, we see all these influencers and celebrities that have these grand lifestyles. You follow them on Twitter, follow them on Instagram, keep up with them in the media, see what they doing, how they dressing, what they wearing, who they dating, what movies or music they in, whatever. And you be like, oh, I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that. You never know what these celebrities are going through behind closed doors. Some of them could be having terrible lives. And that's not to say that you wish that upon them because they're rich and famous. But appreciate what you have. Appreciate the family and people and the friends that you have. You never know what other people are going through. And there's no need to be envious of somebody else for what they have or what you think they have.
You think you know, you have no idea.
Overall, I really enjoyed this episode. What did y'all think about this episode? What messages do you think this episode was trying to portray? And how well do you think this episode handled those different themes of like situational poverty, being envious, and even that part of Helga being a ringleader, being a group, thinker, where it's like, everybody has to follow her. Did you ever experience that in middle school or high school where you saw those groups that had a ringleader and everybody followed them? Were you a part of one of those groups? Or in school, did everybody kind of do their own thing? At the end of the day, everything that glitters ain't really gold, but it can still shine in its own way. If you get it, you get it. Let me know your thoughts down below. I can't wait to interact with y'all, see what y'all think about this episode, see what other episodes of Hey Arnold y'all would want me to review. I know there's so many different ones I can think about. Y'all might make me remember one and might be my next video. Please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching and listening. I'll see y'all in the next video.